Two drunk assholes talking about whatever comes to mind. We present Filler with Jack Fike and Rob Harper. Episode 3, Superman's Come and Religion. Filler is Jack and my insane rambling. In this episode, we address the age-old question, could Lois survive Superman's ejaculation? And could Wonder Woman even have children? Eventually, the conversation devolves into a discussion on religion and comic books. Please do note that we are extremely drunk during these recordings, so if we do sound like unintelligent fools, just forgive us.
Could handle the shotgun effect of his penis.
I don't think that's true, though.
What?
I think he's alien. I think it just wouldn't work anyways. I don't think he shoots super sperm. I think he just wouldn't. It wouldn't be compatible.
I've got to think that he would.
Unless for some reason Kryptonians and humans were somehow related somehow.
One of my favorite episodes of I don't know what Star Trek it was, where they explained how
they seeded all the.
They just shot their DNA all over all the planets.
Yeah, it was a proto-alpha spray soup. That's
and
a lot of people think that. Yeah.
And whatever happened on each of the planets, sure they're different.
They made them slightly different, but that's why all these Star Trek aliens look some of the
Evolution changed them, but for the most part, they're all bipedal. They're all humanoid.
That's why it explains. Yeah, Star Trek all looks the same. Yeah.
And it's a fantastic idea.
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
And
why they all can breathe oxygen and...
They can all kind of mate, because they all do kind of hump each other.
Mate? That's a question. I can understand having sex, you have the right parts, but actually, like, you know...
We know Vulcans and humans can mate.
Yeah,
because Spock.
Yeah.
You know that Klingons and humans can mate because
half,
of Balara.
Yeah, whatever his name is half... That little kid is half human. Was he?
I'm talking about Voyager, Torres, B'Elanna Torres.
Oh, was she half human?
Yeah. And you know that...
Isn't Worf and his son, wasn't he half human?
No, because his wife is Klingon, and she was hot too, yeah.
I don't remember.
His name's like Andre or something.
Yeah, it was something gay. It was the gayest name ever for a Klingon.
Well, they could have called it...
That's why I thought he was half human. Yeah.
But,
his name's Worf.
And there's, like, plenty of...
Yeah, in Star Trek world, that...
So
it generally, like, when you think, like, a wolf can't mate with a dog, can it? Like...
Yes.
Can it?
Yes.
But, like, I don't know, there's certain races, like, animals that are close.
You'd have to go farther than in the Canis. Yeah. You'd have to go, like...
That's the question, is maybe that's what makes it...
A tiger and a wolf. You could...
Oh, yeah, because they're totally different. But, I mean...
so, you could have a wolf...
But I know lions and tigers can mate. That's why, it has to be out of the genus or it probably is.
Yes.
But, like, a human and a monkey can't mate.
No.
Like, that's the thing that I'm saying. You know?
Humans are outside of, I think,
that's my question is, like, are they close enough that... Well, we're not talking about mating. We're just talking about he has a penis, really. They're not trying to make children. No. They're just trying to fuck.
And if you assume that he does shoot semen, or even has a penis...
Well, the only reason you have a penis is to shoot semen.
So I'm saying, like, what if they make... If Kryptonians
You're saying that
differently... But if you assume he has a penis...
But would it shoot at super speeds? I don't think that's true. That's like saying, does a weightlifter's semen shoot faster than a slob's semen? Probably not.
No.
Probably less, actually, when you think about it.
Yeah, probably. But would the DNA in the semen... Would it become super semen because of the yellow sun?
I don't think... I think that it would just be regular semen.
That's a possibility?
I don't think that the speed of your semen is determined by how strong you are. That's my question.
No, but if it was affected by an outside source, like, because you can mutate semen with radiation.
But it wouldn't hurt the person, it just wouldn't work. I think he could... that's why I don't like the newest Superman movie. I think, personally, that Superman could not impregnate Lois. I don't think it's possible. They're different species.
There's two ways of going about it in that regard.
And I also think that Wonder Woman should be barren anyways. She probably shouldn't be able to bear children.
I would think that at some point they would go like, hey, you know what? Where's your belly button? Yeah, we're made from clay.
Yeah, that's true too. They're not even human. Because do Amazons procreate? I don't think so.
They can't. They're women.
No, but I'm thinking... I know in Greek mythology they used to steal men and use them as procreators, kind of?
Yeah.
So I'm curious, I don't know what kind of... like you say, though, Wonder Woman's not like... I don't know if the Amazons in Greek mythology are made of clay, but Wonder Woman is made of clay.
Yeah, I believe that whole island
Is
was
that
made
from
of people.
Themicles or whatever?
Themicles, yeah, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm not sure about in DC lore if they are. Has there ever been an Amazon who had a child in DC lore?
Like,
Probably
you
not.
see one walking around.
Yeah, like, can you think of... Yeah, does it ever happen? Probably not. I don't know either.
I know they claim that she's the daughter of someone, but what they constitute...
Yeah, that's true. She's daughter of Hypolita or whatever.
But what they constitute as a daughter,
and her father,
as a title,
recently they announced her father was Ares.
well, then that changes things. So she's not made
But he's a god. A god can impregnate anything.
I guess so, yeah.
You know, like... Fuck, look at, what is it? The lead on the Swan. Zeus was a swan and impregnated a woman. Like,
yeah.
They can do what the fuck they want, right? They're gods.
They're gods. They can... They just have to... Like,
or look at God and Mary and Joseph. An angel fucked Mary and made the son of God instead of the son of the angel. Like, that
the
doesn't
angel
make sense.
had God semen in him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm reading Lucifer right now. The whole, like, I read all of Sandman, now I'm reading all of Lucifer, the DC Vertigo comic. And, in that, Michael's the only angel to have genitalia, because he had to have sex with Mary. All the other angels don't have genitalia. So, that's the whole point.
And,
so Michael's special, because he's different than the rest?
And Superman, like, you have to assume he has a dick.
Have we ever seen Super Dick? We definitely do see a super bulge.
What if on his planet?
It's like Cthulhu tentacles?
Yeah, it could be anything. A squid down there.
That'd be funny.
But
it's true, like it's... Yeah.
So you have to make a bunch of leaps to get to that point.
Well, once again, if everything's been seeded as... Everything's descended from the same, why does people in Ran look like humans? Like, Ran should be totally different. Like, it's not even, like where fucking... What's his name goes to? Adam Strange goes to.
Yeah, well, that's...
like, they look... And they've had children. Adam Strange has had a child with a woman from Ran.
And they've never claimed that the Star Trek seeding happened in DC.
But it seemed... But I think generally in all... Even Marvel... Well, Marvel's a little bit slightly different, but even so, they're all still bipedal. They might be different colors, but they generally are human-esque.
Yeah.
Like, really, the Kree are just blue humans, the Skrull are just green humans. They can shapeshift, but... You get Brood and things that are different, but... And the Badoon? Remember those guys? They're like... They're funny. They're always a weird race. They don't really use them. They would have been wiped out, actually.
Yeah, the Hitler fight?
Yeah, I don't know if the Phoenix killed them all.
But, yeah...
In DC, it's much more humanoid than Marvel, that's for sure. They're much more...
Assuming he is junk, and I do, assuming he shoots semen...
Where's that Silver Surfer from? He's from a different planet.
Yeah.
He's human.
Assuming he shoots semen, he does. I'm going to say that...
Genetically, since they're that close, they might be able to breed.
I'm going to say that the yellow sun would probably affect every part of his body. So I'm going to say that they probably are a bit too much for a human being. I'm going to say that they probably...
The only thing I could think of is...
His
But once again, they never see the sun.
His ability to...
The seamen never see the sun.
But he either do his bowels, and I've got to think that they...
Are they super bowels, though?
I've got to think that they are. Or else every time you pierce the epidermis, the very thinnest layer of skin, after that, it would be like, okay, I'm into the meat. I can kill Superman by a...
Yeah, but that's the point. Is it only his skin that's involved?
Well,
or
and
is
that's
his body
the thing.
involved?
Like, if he does... If he opens his mouth, my tonsils never see it. Well, then I just stick my hand in your mouth and pull out your entrails.
How often does that happen? Maybe that's true.
Maybe that's true. So I'm making leaps.
Yeah.
I'm making leaps.
So you're assuming that they are super strong. I'm assuming they're not super strong.
But I'll go to the point that they're super strong in regards to...
What I can see is they're super strong, super fertile. That if she did get pregnant, she'd be fucked, because every single one of them
would be on that egg, and that...
Or multiple eggs, and she'd have like 1,000 young in there, and she'd get killed that way.
Because some women could drop 2 eggs, 3 eggs. Yeah. So it could be...
Every single one gets through. Like, that's not good.
Not once, because usually, like, so many tens of thousands don't even make it past the badge, and then so many...
Yeah.
They would all be like...
Every single one makes it, yeah.
Yeah, in line, like, we have the yellow sun making us super.
nothing's stopping us.
We have heat vision to get through anything that's going to stop us.
So that's the question: is what happens when multiple? Does that ever happen? Multiple sperms pregnate one egg? Can that happen?
No, only one can make it through.
So what's the question of what happens when multiple do?
What would happen was I
Would
would
just destroy the egg, I assume.
No, I would think that the ones that don't get the one that gets in the egg and stops. Well, that's a human being, maybe because it eventually puts up a shield. It lets one through, and then after that, it puts up a shield.
Does it?
So maybe that shield would be enough, and the other sperms.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It would just destroy it. Yeah, I think it would just eat through. It would just destroy the egg, and then she'd never get pregnant.
And it would
and she'd be just covered. She'd ejaculate
eject
tons of live sperm.
That would
and
just
super sperm would
across
just end up wherever, because they wouldn't be just killed.
Or like they obliterate the egg, or I'm thinking like they would be like, okay, well, one's egg's fertilized. Well, a woman has 2 fallopian tubes to make sure.
Just crawls up the fallopian tubes
For redundancy, so there's always
so
other
it would kill
eggs. So eventually they would be like,
because I know it's not good to have, because sometimes eggs do get in the tube, they get fertilized, and that's very bad.
grow up. Yes, it's so. My thought is
every single egg gets impregnated inside of her, and
there's semen waiting, so that
she would get some kind of infection, I assume, and just.
I would think that they would just start ravaging her insides looking for eggs.
Yeah.
But would I think that they would fertilize?
I don't think there's any chance that she could, unless they're just regular sperm. They wouldn't. There's no chance she would get impregnated, and there is also a high chance that she would be killed.
But if there's,
but not the way Kevin Smith implied that he would shoot through her.
Hold her back. Like,
yeah, that's not. I don't think that would happen. I think it's more biological reasons.
But like, just because they are so beyond.
It's like an infection of these aliens.
She's being assaulted by sperm, not. But do I think that they would,
or it would because they do that, and it would destroy each one, like multiples would destroy each egg, and because there's millions of sperm, right? And there's not millions of eggs. That there'd be multiple, and every single egg would just render her fertile instantly. Like not instantly, but within days she'd be infertile. She'd never be able to have children ever again.
All that damage going on is they're just like,
and they might eventually die off because sperm aren't meant to live forever.
No.
So and they just eventually she'd eject them out, but she'd never have children because they just wipe out her fucking internal organs.
The scarring inside.
Yeah.
The fallopian tubes.
It just destroyed eggs everywhere.
Yeah. The ovaries. They would be pounding the shit out of those ovaries.
I think it would just. He would never impregnate her, and he would render her infertile.
That's as good
at the very least. Maybe kill her.
That's as good as a theory as Kevin Smith's, because we are talking about comic books.
Well, she would be killed. Yeah.
And on the very opposite, his sperm isn't affected by the yellow sun at all.
And it would just be natural.
It shoots up there. It happens to be compatible. If anything,
the best case scenario is normal. The worst case scenario is she's dead. In between, she's infertile.
Yeah, that some terrible biological thing happens to her. So, any one of those is as good as any other.
Well, it's whatever they decide. But I personally don't think Wonder Woman can ever have a child. I don't think that's right.
And that brings up
Is she the only one that's made out of clay, or are they all made out of clay?
I thought that they were all made of clay. That Ares was involved.
Well, I think in the thing, he ejaculates into the clay.
Yeah, I think so. I think
in the actual story.
He's the dad, and the mom's the one who made the clay baby. Kind of like
Hera or whatever.
Here's a baby. Splurge. Okay, there you go.
And it became real. Yeah.
There's another Amazon.
Yeah, I think that might be the mythological start of it, but I'm not sure about DC's version.
Yeah, so you never know. So maybe she has a vag.
Isn't it funny how DC took like the Greek mythology, and then Marvel took like the Norse mythology?
Yeah.
Although they do have Hercules still. They have Hercules. But they really focus on Norse way more than...
They took a whole page out of the Norse book and said...
Like Odin and
for Avengers, for sure.
Yeah. Well, Thor. Because they never really sure they have Hercules, but they don't really focus on Zeus and all those other people, unlike DC, who are more focused on. Although even then, they don't go much past the gods. Although once in a while they do touch them, but they don't really touch them.
Because I know in the comic books and in the cartoons, they do meet Ares. They do meet.
Yeah.
They do meet.
Once in a while, yeah, but they don't. They never meet Thor or Odin. Like, it's kind of strange. Like, there's obviously no copyright on Thor and Odin, right?
Can't be.
It's a god.
I've got to think that if DC made a Thor, as long as he didn't look remotely like the Avengers Thor.
I think they might have done that in maybe Sandman. I think it was Sandman did have an Odin and a Thor, and the Thor was really funny and they had Loki too, and the Thor was really funny because he was just a brute. He was like a bit of a dick, and Odin was the one-eyed, all-father kind of guy, and Loki was the trickster. But it's definitely not the Marvel version. It's the real version, like the mythological versions. They did have that in Sandman. Because Loki breaks out at one point, and him and Puck from Shakespeare's stories, and Puck cause trouble. Yeah, Loki and Puck band together they steal babies and stuff. So they do exist in Vertigo, which is now part of DC's. Like, what other... They always, I know in DC they've had angels and things. They've definitely done... Because there was an angel on the Justice League for a while. Andy?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, there was an angel. He was in the middle. I never read any of them, but I know he was there. Wings and all, flaming sword kind of guy. They really, in Marvel, they tend to stay away from religious things like that. They never really talk about gods like that. They'll do Odin and those kind of gods.
Because of Thor, but
even then, they've really gone away from Thor being a god. Although Avengers, they're like, oh, he's an alien. In Avengers, they call him a god. And I was like, oh yeah, they actually called him a god in Avengers. Where in Thor, they were like, he's an alien, he's not a god, And Thor, at one point, I think it was Tony Stark goes, he's a god. We're not messing with him. Yeah, so. It's funny how they do that, though. Well, they don't want to piss off the religious right? Like,
yeah, because the last thing the comic books already have a bad rap. They don't need to be adding into the... Well, they're almost a non-issue now.
Yeah,
so
I think it's less than, War of Them Times.
When we were...
Even before us, though, I think it was worse. Nobody ever thought, nobody thought it was anti-religious to have Thor in a comic book. So what, he's a god? Who cares? It's Thor. He's from Norse mythology. It's mythology. That's the point. It'd be different if they were all of a sudden everybody started worshipping Thor.
Or Jesus showed up. I'm part of the X-Men. What? Yeah, I got my crown of thorns I throw.
Yeah, I was the first mutant. Yeah. I'm sure there have been comic books, but not mainstream comics like that.
Colossus, pick me up. Stigmata attack.
Yeah.
Throw.
Fast Stigmata special.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Literally. Yeah, it's funny how yeah.
You can't. You really got to be kind of sensitive.
But they have angels. Well, once again, I'm reading Lucifer. That's all Catholic.
And
angels are the bad guys, really.
Angels have become...
Not religious, almost?
Yeah, almost. Almost. The reason that the church is so pissed off about things like that, about touching on mythology, is because eventually even a primitive mind could make point A to point B. That's mythology. This is what? It's mythology,
this
but
is
we
supposed
have
to
to
be real.
believe it.
Yeah. It's all mythology, but it's what you choose to believe.
This is what people still believe, and that's what people have stopped believing. That's the only difference between the stories, the origin stories, the way, all the...
Vertigo comics have always been more willing to do that kind of shit, though. Mainstream comics, Vertigo is not mainstream, obviously.
Well, it's nice to have a scapegoat. It is nice to be able to go, okay, what? Vertigo? No, we're called
it's
DC.
mature. It's adult only. Vertigo's adults only. It's not for kids. We're not influencing. Right. It's adult stories.
Superman isn't part of Vertigo. It's part of DC. So
and they never say Superman's a god. And
what they're doing over there, you know what? That's what they're doing. It's a little offshoot. They're a little bit radical, but you know what?
Yeah, it's for adults only. Don't worry. Yeah.
We wash our hands of that.
We're not going to be anti-religious in a Superman comic.
Right.
We just don't touch on it. They don't touch on it, literally. Although, in the Avengers movie, once again, Captain America did touch on it. He goes, there's only one God, and he jumps up the...
And I can tell you he doesn't dress like those two.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that's really religious, but it makes sense. He's from the 40s. He's going to be Catholic.
That's back when probably...
Yeah, when it mattered.
When that was something that was very...
Everybody believed in God. And
even in the comic book, he was very much like that.
Yeah.
But that's a throwback to...
But I like how he kind of was like that. I was like, wow, they went there. they're happy they went there. They're like,
Joss Whedon is an
he understands.
absolute genius when it comes to stuff like that.
It's not his opinion, it's Captain America's opinion.
And it's not my opinion, but it is Captain America's opinion. You go, like, damn straight, dude.
Yeah, that's what, yeah. There's only one God, and he doesn't dress like those two.
And if that's what it takes for him to be thinking that, you know what, I'm going to go down and kick some ass.
And they are, in those movies, they aren't gods, they are just aliens. But what's the difference between an alien and a god, really?
Nothing. Nothing. It's something that's not of...
Yeah, literally it is nothing. Maybe God is an alien, that's the point. But, and they kind of touch on that, where it's like, Thor, they really pussyfooted around it, though, because they refused to say he was a god, or a demigod, or anything.
They go out of their way to say, you know,
Yeah.
what you call science, we call magic, or
But they-
vice versa.
Yeah, but they never mentioned gods, though. There was always about magic, that's fine.
And someone said, oh, well, when we visit here, your people thought we were gods.
Yeah, did you even say that? I'm not even sure.
It did in Thor.
I think they implied it. I don't know if they ever said
I think they came up, but it was no more than what I just said.
Yeah.
It was, when we showed up, people thought we were gods.
Yeah.
Okay, done.
They definitely separated from, this is God.
Yeah. At no point was like, well, we created.
Yeah.
what
Yeah,
we
they were
did.
never,
No.
They never implied the creation myth or anything.
Your
like that.
mistake, implying building something on top of our thing, like that's what you said
Yeah.
about us.
It's never like, they never touch on creation because that implies God. Yeah.
God, that would affect some people.
Yeah. Yeah, you can have a mistaken identity, but you can never be, hey, we made you.
But again, there's no at no point Jesus is going to come and
No. Or, even when like I said, I'm amazed that there was an angel in the Justice League at one point.
angels are so in the belly of
Marvel would
mythical
never do that.
creatures
Marvel
now.
would never have an angel. Well, they have Angel, but he's not an angel.
Well, there you have it. Nothing was solved, and we sounded like idiots discussing it. We're sorry. See you next time. So, Jack,
Yes, Rob?
I was listening to this great podcast the other day. That would be our podcast, but, it's still great. Is that tooting your own horn too much? I'm not sure, but anyways. And I was thinking, how can I support myself?
Well, you could go to work on time, work your hours, perhaps even get a job that wasn't minimum wage.
That sounds like hell. But anyways,
Is that not where you were going with that?
no, I was more thinking maybe I could get the people who listen to our podcast to buy some swag and support us and hopefully make it so we don't die.
Well, yes, starvation, not top on my priority list. How would someone go about supporting us and repaying us for all the hard work and effort we put into creating this fine programming that no doubt these people have enjoyed?
Well, we do sell some swag. Do you know what swag is?
I do. Please, do tell me, where would I find such swag?
Well, this swag, as the kids call it these days, is available on cafepress.com/Vinland Old Time Radio. That's the name of our show, if you haven't noticed. And, it's all there. Purchase.
Excellent. Now, that answers two questions. One, where I could find some high-quality apparel and knickknacks. And the second is what
Knickknacks?
what the urban youth are calling
Shirts and knickknacks?
shirts and knickknacks.
Yes, Vinland Old Time Radio is available at cafepress.com/Vinland Old Time Radio.
And I do notice you are wearing the apparel right now.
Yes, I am.
You have a T-shirt, Vinland Old Time Radio.
Green and black.
Excellent. Black. It's very slimming. You look fantastic.
Thank you. And the green attracts redheads. Did you know that?
Well, I will have to paint my dick green.
Vinland Old Time Radio. cafepress.com/Vinland Old Time Radio.
Thanks, guys.